Hello and good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Mortytown TV. My name is Vac, and I play Marvel Strike Force, a game you may be familiar with if you found yourself here. We're called Mortytown TV because I run the Mortytown Locos Alliance. We're a Gold 2 Alliance, nothing too fancy, but we're on the up and up. We're coming up. I'm a 10 million TCP player. I've been playing for 2 years. And this is just a snippet of my daily playtime. This is going to be my morning session before I get up and go off to work. And we're going to try to knock out the majority of our daily tasks in Marvel Strike Force. And hopefully do our alliance some good in war. Because we got a war starting in about 18 minutes. So we're going to get to that later in the stream. So real quick before we get going proper, I'm going to just send out a couple of alerts. And shouldn't take long. Pretty early in the morning. It's about, well, not terribly early, but still, for most gamers, it's pretty damn early in the morning. It's about 8:45 my time, 9 a.m. And my time is being Eastern Standard Time. I'm here on the, not on the East Coast, but I am on the eastern half of the United States. I'm closer to the coast than I am to Mississippi at this point, I think. So, gonna pick up our daily rewards, obviously, to start. It's not like you have a choice, right? But I do want this money. I don't really care about the mega orbs. They don't really have too much in there that I'm worried about. Really, any orbs these days are really not that much big of a concern to me. So, let's see here. Looks like we're going to have the opportunity, according to JD, we're going to have the opportunity to get ourselves to 60% U7, which ends in an hour and 38 minutes. So we got time. We got time. We can go ahead and spend our energy and have a look-see at the war when it pops up. So we'll go ahead and grab our free orbs, even though I don't need anything in them, but we'll go ahead and grab them so that we can be working on new orbs that I don't need anything out of. And let's take a look at these offers. We're probably not getting many today, but I do know that there's an energy bundle in here I want to get. No, don't care about that. I would have used to have cared about those catalysts, but not anymore. Not really going to gamble on this. I really don't want premium orbs. I don't need gold orbs. Red star orbs are limited use, so I'm not really going to go for that one. It's not that you don't need red star orbs. It's just $2 for one, right? That's very likely going to end up being just about like 250 Elite Force shards. And, if I'm going to go in on something, it's going to need to be a little better than that. I don't mind the big packages, where I can get a bunch, but... So there you go. That's over. Let's do one of the more important things we do every day and farm the store. We definitely want these. Definitely want these. Absolutely want this. This is why we're here. I don't think I need adamantium or MRIs. So I'm going to refresh one more time. What I'm really looking for is bone marrow. But truthfully, there's a good number of these little mini uniques that I may not need right now, but I'm going to need. I definitely want the catalyst. Catalyst is why we're here. Yeah, I'm low on these. I'll take them. Definitely need these. And one more refresh. Catalyst. Just get a little low on isomers. I think I have ish. Alright, I'll take it. Catalyst. Definitely need. I used up all my skill gear raising Corvus. Alright, let's see here. Don't need any of that. Take the catalysts, leave the rest. We don't have enough for a Kingpin orb. But we will definitely take these 10 catalysts. And hope for a bone marrow. Nope, not today. Alright, so let's see who's available to... We have some promotion credits. We certainly do that. Good morning to those of you straggling in. It's another fine day in here in Mortytown. I mean, I don't want to promote any of these characters, but beyond that, it's pretty fine. So I'm not even going to bother refreshing. We'll just check it again later today. Let those upgrades sit. So, how did we do on Arena, huh? Fell to 6. We went to bed at 2. It's not terrible. It's really not terrible. Can't really complain about that. Let's go ahead and put ourselves back up to 2. If I know Unclouded, he'll come along and hit somebody later and jump back up again. But for now, let's go ahead and put ourselves to 2. As long as I can stay within 2 jumps of number 1, then I can typically snipe it pretty easily in the afternoon. Might as well put this at top speed. So, yeah, my general strategy here is weather the storm, drop the tank, because, you know, you kind of got to with this team. And then, basically, a lot of the splash damage is going to kill the rest of these guys, especially BB's ultimate when that comes along. Yeah, I mean, he's really my only option to clone, and it's always worked out really well for me. It's better if Phoenix actually dies first, but, you know, it's cool. We'll recover. It's not the end of the world there. A regular Phoenix is still a useful character and has a Dark Phoenix right behind her. So he'll heal Cull here in a second. Oh, look at that. And he did not land today. He did not land that ability block. So I'm going to get to heal everybody up and probably kill Cull. Yep, there we go. My Cull's still standing strong now. And I can start knocking apart his squishies, which is everybody here but Thanos. That's the thing about this team. You got a lot of really good characters standing behind a big, beefy wall. But once that wall goes down, there's not a whole lot to protect them. On the whole, when we get rid of this defensive up on Maul, and that usually kills some people. But look at that. He didn't really do really good at all today. I've had tougher times with this team. He didn't even really kill anybody of consequence when he threw a moon on me. So you see, you get rid of the defense up, and Maw is really squishy. And of course, so is Proxima, and so is Corvus. They're probably all three going to die right here, or close to it. Proxima barely survived it, but of course, Black Bolt is the ultimate closer. Oh, there's nothing worse than just, you know, AE and the whole group, and there's everybody's got a little sliver of life, and they heal up. That shit goes away when you get Mr. Black Bolt. Look at this. There's only one guy left alive for him to even hit, and usually half their team's still up. So that was a fairly easy contest versus the Black Order right there. Good morning to you, Thomas. Don't be alarmed, everybody. He's not actually in prison. He works at the prison. Although if he was in prison, that'd be fine, I guess, you know. I'm not here to judge. Some of my finest friends and family have spent time in prison. So, moving right along then. World Warrior's looking good. Getting into the meaty parts. Need to do some heavy blitzing today if we're going to make it. I'm going to try to get as many blitzes as I can while I'm at work. Had a pretty good day yesterday. Damn near pitched a no-hitter. You know, my work is reactive. You know, I'm there to, I run a few, preventative maintenance things. You know, I do visual inspections on equipment, make sure everything's running well, make sure there's no signs of wear and tear. And then otherwise, I sit around and I wait until something breaks, right? Like we the skilled tradesmen that I work with, where most of us like sitting around a break room somewhere, and then when the line breaks down, the robots quit working, they send out a call on the radio, and we come flying down the aisle in a big old gas-powered buggy like a bunch of them Keystone cops, and we fix the shit. It's not a bad job. Ah, man. A lot of drills today. So are the police dogs friendly when they're not, like, tearing up the guys in the big padded suits? I'm a dog guy through and through. So let's see, we bought that energy. Let's go ahead and buy the energy we buy every day. 50-50. 50, 50, 100, 100, 100, 100. Now, that looks like a lot, right? That's 600 cores, which is like what? Maybe $7-8, something to that effect, if you buy it at the best exchange rate. Which is not, it's not prohibitive to me, especially when I'm making something in the area of 300 to 500 cores a day, usually 500. In Arena, that really offsets the cost. So that's why I always say, if you're going to invest your money into the game, and you should, probably, I mean, if you really want to be good at it, then invest into efficient expenditures like energy. Spend 1,000 energy every day, and you're going to turn around and 6 months to a year later, your account is going to be in a place that you did not expect. It really makes a difference. This game's about daily incremental progress, and if you can get bigger increments, that only serves to advance your interests in Marvel Strike Force. So here's my roster of 100Ks. I want to fill this out till I've got 10 100K 7 Red Star characters up here, but it's going to be a while before any of my 7 Red Stars actually catch Black Bolt and Mr. Sinister and guys like that, Phoenix and all. Because I don't have any 7 Red Star characters that I would care to use in Arena, basically. Maybe Black Panther would have been a good candidate at one time, but now the meta's kind of past that, and he's still a good character, does great damage, but he's not somebody that I'm really in a hurry to jack. I was raising him a good bit because I was trying to get him in for the global section of Dark Dimension 3, but the ship's kind of sailed on that, it seems now, right? I'm almost to the end of it, and I still, basically the shit I need to raise him, I need to raise Thanos. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to raise Thanos and get ready for Cosmic, because I'm already kind of rolling my way, it's a slow roll, don't get me wrong, but I'm rolling my way through the global section of DD3. It's the city section that worries me. I'm not at all ready for that. I've already got some Cosmic characters ready to go, and I got Captain Marvel here that's only one item away from being there. So it's not putting together a Cosmic team is something that looks like I'm going to be able to do. A city team, man, I got a lot of, I know I'm going to be forever working through the Cosmic phase, but a city team, I'm not at all ready. Oh man, I want to play with a puppy. Baxos got a new puppy not long before the quarantine, and it's a what do you call it? An English. It's not an English bulldog. It's an English. And what's the name of that breed? I done forgot it now. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with everything. I forget shit all the time. I'm pretty much losing my mind as I get older. It's the Spuds MacKenzie dog, the Target dog. You know what I'm talking about? It's an English Bull Terrier. That's what I'm looking for. And she's adorable, but she's still technically a puppy. She's only like a month or two old at this point, or like 3 months old at this point, tops. But man, she's grown. That dog started off as a little thing in my lap, and she's massive now. She still thinks she's a lap dog. Adorable as hell. Really affectionate dog. So let's see here. We need to farm some catalysts. For sure. And then we definitely want to farm superior basic catalysts at least one time, right? I don't like spending a ton of cores refreshing every day. I do on Endless Energy Day, just because I got the energy to do it with. Today, at least one or two. At least one or two, because this is, I need 300 pieces of these per gear piece to get characters to tier 14, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And my intake just does not keep up with the level of advancement that I would like to maintain, so I'm constantly farming these things. And in fact, since I have exactly 300 more, I'm going to go ahead and refresh and do one more round of that. Just to stack up on this and get ready for the next time. So that's a good amount of that. So now we're looking at Corvus, right? What have we got going on here? Corvus, he's still short for this last piece. Basically just 2 of these. I could come back at 12 and get it. It's not a big rush. So we'll wait till we get some more energy, and then we'll probably finish Corvus there off and get him to gear tier 14. I don't really use him in a lot of raid mode or a lot of modes outside of Blitz and War, and I just don't know. It's not going to be that big a deal. I will try to finish that piece of gear before. Oh, what did I just do? What did I just do? I didn't want to spend 35 cores on that. Man, don't play distracted, guys. That's terrible. All right, so yeah, I'll definitely try to get that piece of gear into him before I throw him into the war, hopefully, just to get that little extra oomph, because the way it works is the level that your defensive characters are at when the war starts, that's where they're locked. Even if you raise them during the course of the day, they still fight at the level they were when the war began. But your offensive characters, you can level at any point and still throw them in at the new power rank. You probably all knew that. I'm just filling time. So, let's see here. Check out our daily objectives. That's always a good way to get your bearings on what you have and have not done and where you need to be next. Arena challenges, raid, blitz, donation. Let's go ahead and knock donations out. And I'm going to do the same over here on Baxalax. Wait a minute. The war just started. I lost track of time. We need to go have a look at that. So, it's an excellent morning for a war. We're fighting the Quarks Avengers, and I gotta tell you, Quarks Avengers, I like the Star Trek reference, right? But Quarks Avengers? That's a odd combination. Anyway, moving on. So we're gonna have a look here, and basically the way I start this every time is we're gonna have a look here at their flight decks, right? And what I'm looking for, as Torpy asked the other day, is I'm looking just what are they showing me here? Are they front loading? Are they back loading? And more importantly, what buffs am I seeing? Like I can see here that that means engineering is directly below this room, which is very likely going to mean that either they've set up a kill box similar to ours underneath this room, or, you know, I married a woman named Cricket once upon a time. Anyway, probably not her. She's a gamer, but yeah, probably not her. I don't think she was ever that big of a Marvel fan. Anyway, yeah, so Flight Deck 3 doesn't have any buffs. It's just Flight Deck 2. And they are showing a little more in that room than the rest, which means it's probably the way they don't want us to go. So if they don't want us to go that way, then my guess is that what they've done is they've got engineering here, they've got security here, and then they've got all the good rooms around security, right? Which also means that underneath Flight Deck 1 and Flight Deck 3, if they're doing this correctly, underneath FD1 and FD3 are going to be shit rooms that we don't care about, and that's where they want us to go. And if you look, these wings on the outside, this guy's got a pretty hefty defenders here, I guess, but there's not a whole lot here warding us away. It's almost like they're inviting us in the door. Pretty similar over here. I mean, although Cottonmouth here is pretty jacked up, so maybe they're doing something different. But it feels like to me this is probably a pretty common setup that we see, where they put the boosts down the middle here, which means that we're gonna have to face a kill box room, which is one, not two, and that it will be well, maybe two, yeah, because they're stacked right next to each other. But the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna probably just jack down through engineering, just ignore these buffs. We'll see how tough these guys are. If we have to make a move, then we'll drop engineering, because that's the one that's more useful to drop, and we'll sidestep around. But I'm pretty sure that these rooms on either side of it are going to be crapola, and I don't think that's the way we should go. So right now we're going to go down the middle. So I'm going to call whoever's lower in these two characters, right? Whichever one of these characters has lower TCP is generally the thinking. Because what they're showing me is deceptive. I can't go off that, right? They could front load, they could back load. There's lots of deceptive practices that they can go into to trick people that are calling rooms just by what's on site. So really, mostly what I'm worried about is determining what rooms are where by looking for these buffs. So I got a guy named Mortslim. You think that's related to us? I don't know. Maybe a long lost Morty? Nah, probably not. So anyway, Mortslim and Dan G are the names of the two guys. And oh man, good job, man. Looks like Spawn is really putting in some work on his principal characters, BB and such, and Phoenix. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna call one of these two. It's Mortslim and Dan G. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back out of here. We're gonna go to the participation tab, and we're gonna check these characters out. So Mortslim is 4.8 million, and Dan G is 4.2. So we're just gonna assume that Dan is gonna be the easier side to clear, and we're gonna call Dan G. So if you're watching now, Dan G, Morty Flight Deck 2. Clear and move now. And we'll put that out to the Mortys now. Because frankly, I don't really understand a few things about this setup. Like usually what would happen here, so we may see something different than what I'm expecting, because generally what would happen here is that FD3 and FD1 would have like low rank characters in it, kind of like inviting us in, so that we'll go down the outside lanes and hit rooms that we don't really need that bad, that will slow us up and be buffed and with buffs that we really can't knock off because we're not in the middle. We got to be in the middle to kill those buffs. So the only thing about it that's weird to me is that they've stacked these 300k teams right here, because I mean, what we're going to plan on doing is jump down the middle and just ignore these guys altogether, right? Like these guys are just decorations, right? So I don't know, because we're clearly, you know, like we're not obviously in a position to full clear. That's not really where we're at yet. And really nobody in Gold 2 is at that position. Yeah, you really don't. Yeah, I mean, it matters the most in blitz when it comes to that, but you really don't want to have your teams too far out of whack on power level. That's not it's not healthy. So I'm going to see if I can't jump in here and make something happen with Baxos. So I'll tell you what I'll do. We're going to try to start doing this more often. Since I'm leaving back to sit while I take care of Baxos, we are going to jump down to our window capture in OBS and swap it over. Huh? How about that? So now you're looking at Baxos, my brother's account, who, he hasn't really had the time to play lately, so, I've picked it up and kept it going for the sake of the Alliance. So we're going to take this 230K Brotherhood in here. It's old style Brotherhood, but still effective. And we're going to take these guys in here and see if we can't take out this Kree team. It's a little bit of a punch up, but man, that's what we want, right? That's the most efficient way to attack. Small punch ups that work well, and you get the most out of it. So this maintenance is going to be at noon today, Pacific. Is that how I'm reading that correctly? Or is that how I'm reading that? If that's correct, that's how I'm reading it. I don't think that's going to ding us. I think that's really more about like 3 or 4 o'clock my time, and I'll be at work at that point. So here we go. We'll hit them with the whole wombo combo and see how they look afterwards. And we're going to hope that Minerva dies early in this process. Let's see, who to... There we go. So far, so good. We just got to overwhelm her and hope that we can get her down before she comes back around with her life drain, which I might be able to pull off here. Oh, it's getting tight. Oh, I really needed that. Come on, Pyro. Finish that off. Yes. All right, so now we focus on Ronan. He's pretty much the most dangerous of what's left. And he's I don't want him to summon again, essentially. Which, he's got a little while for that, but still. He's the annoying one there. That ability block sucks. Everything else about him, really. I remember a day when he was the guy, like, if you saw Ronan, you went and picked on him. He was so terrible. Anybody that put Ronan on a team, I was like, that's the team I'm fighting. But now, not anymore. It's a good start. Get a little punch up on. Move the ball. So what do we got here? 170K Hydra and Wakanda. Let's see now. Do I have anything for Wakanda? Sure I do. It's got a pretty decent, no Iron Heart, but it works fine with Vision. It worked fine with Vision for all that time. So this should be not necessarily a slam dunk, but a pretty easy fight. But at least a pretty decent odds of winning this, buffs or not. Well, with this team, they were going to have defense ups anyway. Really no getting around it. So yeah, we start off with they've already got Black Panther juice. So let's see here. We're gonna ability block Shuri. Jack up the old speed boosts. I'm gonna pop the tank one just to knock a little off his health total before we start laying into them with the AE barrage. They got a lot of buffs, so hopefully this will look good. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Now let's take some of those buffs away. There we go, yeah. Looks pretty good, looks pretty good. And then Iron Man should really be able to put this thing away with that. And now we just need to wear down what's left. Which is dangerous because we have a tank, a healer, and a DPS here. I'm going to start hitting this healer. And try to get her out of the equation pretty quickly. Especially, I don't want to waste the uni beam on that. I'm gonna hit Killmonger with that. And that's probably gonna, yeah, there we go. So now this might be trouble, but probably not. Yeah, Shuri was a dead woman walking anyway. Another speed boost. You don't always get that twice. There we go. There we go. So now, like, we got 195k Avengers team. Nah. So that's let's see, maybe Baxos has got a team. I think he's out of energy though. He's free to play, so that's all he's getting right now. So yeah, that does that. These characters. This is a little. I got no more attacks with Baxos here, and that's going to probably be a little too low for Vac to mess with. I'm not punching down 200k on these teams. So let's jump back into OBS real quick and swap our video feed back over to Vac, like so, and we'll kick back on this in a moment. Get my stuffs. Give me stuffs. Give me stuffs. All right. Let's see now. So arena challenges, raids, blitz, donate. We didn't do the donations. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get both of these guys together and do that now. Oh no, I'm not running my new system today. I guess we're just getting a good feed because it's early in the morning, so we're getting a good connection or what have you, a good transfer rate. Now I'm still running on the old system. I've got the problem with the new system narrowed down. I know it's the GPU is the issue. What I'm gonna do is when I get time, hopefully at the conclusion of this stream this morning, I'm going to tear this old PC apart, take the graphics card out of it, put it in the new one, and I suspect that'll make it work. And so if so, I know that this graphics card I ordered through Amazon arrived defective. I'll send it back to the manufacturer, so on and so on. Let's see. Donations. We did make it yesterday. That's fantastic. I got my gold back. I always love it when I get my gold back. So, we're going to donate a little more gold because that's the nature of the game. You know, we're capped on start tech right? I mean, there's nothing I can get that'll that's gonna help out here. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything left to buy. Yeah. I'll be happy if they try to extend this one day. You know, you see, I got 25,000 credits here just saved up. You probably got a similar situation going on over there. So that finishes up donations. Let's go do some challenges. I am glad we're getting a clear picture. That's good. I guess we can expect to get a clear image on the morning stream as opposed to the evening stream. This certainly seems to be more traffic at that time of day. What am I looking at the roster for? I want to go to challenges. So, we got training day, and we've got ability enhancements. We've already got ability enhancements capped at 12 because, you know, it was pretty easy there for a while. Even Baxos has this capped at 12. So, you know, I hope you do as well. Good morning. I see some more of you have come in. Good morning to everybody who's found the stream. Whether you're one of my Mortys or just somebody that's found us on YouTube, welcome. My name is Vac. We're playing Marvel Strike Force. Let's see what we can do with this. I haven't tried this in a while. Only cosmic characters. So, last I remember, I didn't have a good time doing this with Asgard. Let's try Black Order. Which, you know, technically this is now a stronger team than my Asgard team. So yeah, if you don't know me, my name is Vac. I run the Mortytown Locos, the guild that this stream is named after. And I'm a 10 million total collection power player in Marvel Strike Force. And all this free time that I've been getting since the coronavirus, I figured, hell, I'll do some streaming. I'm not trying to, you know, bite off of Casino or Valley or any of those guys and what they're doing. I just thought I'd, you know, put it out there and see if anybody likes what I'm putting down. So let's see now. Let's try to hit this grouping over here. We're probably up against this many opponents are going to get a lot of retaliatory attacks with Maw or with Cull. So yeah, let's take the. Oh, of course he dodged it. What am I got to look at what I'm doing. All right, so that's not enough stuff for me to want to flip. So I'm going to go ahead and use the basic again. That's going to get rid of Cyclops. So now we want to clear probably this Magneto out of here. Although I hate this Mordo over here. We have that buff flip on Thanos that we can use whenever he blinds us. So now comes the big hitter with, there we go. What are you going to clone? Clone my Proxima. That clone is going to die so fast. Let's get our taunt back up. All right, there's the blinds. Most of them didn't seem to land. Proxima's fine, so we're going to go ahead and throw her ultimate out there, which didn't do much. All right. I'm going to hang on to that heal, man. I mean, like, people don't really seem to need it right now, so we're going to reserve it for a turn. Okay, so now they're we got this taunt going on Juggernaut and everything. Now we're gonna do the flips. We're gonna get rid of those blinds. We're gonna flip a bunch of their shit over. Juggernaut resisted most of that. He don't give a damn. But this should kill Sinister. Goodbye. And get the power couple working on the big guy over there, and that'll get rid of his buff. And now that Cull's about half health, we'll go ahead and we'll use this. It also has a nice speed bar effect. We need to watch that. Let's throw some moons. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and get big guy out of here before he taunts again. Love the basics on the power couple, man. The way they 100% assist each other is too sweet. All right. Was she blinded? Did I miss that? All right. Let's hit this nice grouping right here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Spread around some offense downs. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. They've got a taunt on Ebony Maw. That is not good. So all right, let's get the power couple to throw it on him. Oh, this is not good. Maw's squishy. He can't take all this, man. He can't take all this. I feel like that disrupt on Cull has been there like half the fight. So there we go. That cleared out a bunch. But without a res on this team, we're in trouble of losing any possibility of a 3-star if we lose Cull or Maw. So let's see here. Let's try to take Mordo out of this equation with the double basic. Love it. Yeah, hit Thanos. God, I'd rather hit Thanos. Just leave Maw alone. So let's get some defense ups on everybody again. Hopefully that'll help. Man. Let's hit this grouping. Maybe take all 3 of them out. Yeah, there we go. That leaves us with 2 people left. Now we're starting to look pretty good. Now I'm starting to believe in the dream that maybe we can pull this out and get a 3-star out of it. Corvus hitting that big deeps. There we go. Don't you screw me, Wolverine. Yeah, all right. There we go. So that's done. Never got to worry about that again. It's like Forrest Gump said, that was one less thing to worry about. Okay, good. You know, not the greatest thing ever. It's just training materials, but we'll take them, right? Oh, you know, it seems like every time I get a little bit of money, I'm always out of freaking training materials, so it'd be nice to bank some up. We're really not mostly spending money on gear these days, but I do have plenty of characters that have a ways to go to 75. No doubt about it. So let's see here. Arena Raid and Blitz is what we're looking at now. We're probably still sitting at number 2 in Arena. We should probably go straight to raids then, because I know that we've only probably got like an hour or so left on Alt 7. And I think we're within striking distance of 60%, at least so JD said, and I trust JD on that. With a ragtag team of level 70s. That makes it sound like the A-Team. Did you guys get the A-Team in Denmark? It was a TV show we watched back in the 80s and 90s here in America. It's basically about a bunch of soldiers who come back from Vietnam and then hire themselves out as mercenaries to do good for people and like fire off millions of rounds of ammo and never shoot anybody. You know, it was a weird show. But it introduced us all to Mr. T, and you know, I'm explaining it to you, but you're probably familiar with it. Ah, you saw it on German TV. Okay. So what would you say is better, your German or your English? All right, so we're not only knocking at the door of 60%, we're past it. We're inside. We're chilling on the couch. But yeah. Honestly, yeah, you know, it used to be I had to take this lane all the way to the end. Like, there was no way that we were going to get anywhere near 60% on U7 not long ago. And now we're at a point where I don't even have to finish out my lane and we can 60%. So that's an improvement. I know it got easier when they readjusted. But hopefully this means that we'll be able to one day here before too long work ourselves up to 100% and move to the next difficulty. But since we're over 60%, there's an hour left, and I'm in first place anyway. And I don't think I'm gonna put any more in on that. I will save my energy for the next Ultimus raid that hopefully will be starting roughly in about an hour. So instead, we're gonna do the Greek raid. So at this point, Baxos and I have to leapfrog for the rest of this lane. And that's cool, right? So I'm going to swap it over here. And give you a look at Baxos. And so then we'll take Baxos in and try to knock out this one. He's got to get enough Brotherhood to clear, you know, maybe one or two nodes further into this. We're taking this lane a lot in this wing, so I probably should work up his Brotherhood a little more. But like I said, I've been focusing on his aim. Because that's the team I want to use to finish out the villain campaign and get him moved on to whatever's next. I think it's Nexus. But I don't know. Also, AIM is just a really good team, and he needs more good teams. He needs some offensive war teams, essentially. So let's see. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get them to kill their own Merc Lieutenant. Lovely. I'm glad it's Pyro that was called on to do that. Let's see now. And then throw the taunt up and start dishing some damage around. Definitely didn't jump on that Magneto. We don't want to get hit by our own Wombo combo. So we'll disrupt and get rid of that taunt so that we can get back to working on Magneto. Womboed. Wombalamba. But not the end of the world. Probably can still pull this out. He's not blind, so we're going to just run through there and give all of them a bad day. And then this should pretty much finish off those three, which is just, oh, look at that. He was blind. I got to pay better attention. All right, so this is pretty much our last 6 characters. So all the good 80s stuff was on German TV. On Danish TV, the main show was The Cosby Show. I loved The Cosby Show growing up, right? Like that was America's dad for a long time, right? I mean, you know, in retrospect now, you're like, ugh. That's why people say, never meet your heroes. All right, let's see. And I really always enjoyed Malcolm Jamal Warner on that show. It's too bad that he never really got too much of a career beyond just like black television. People should have gave him a chance. But I think he had some personal issues for a while there. That happens to a lot of people that get some level of fame when they're really young. It's not necessarily healthy. All right, so that's it. Looks like Baxos is about a one and done. He doesn't really have a whole lot of options as far as mutants. He doesn't have an X-Men team. Hi, good morning, Thor. How are you, sir? Welcome to the stream. So, okay, so that's as far as Baxos is going to take us for now. We're just going to have to basically bank those energy and basically let Vac pick the ball up and run with it. So we're going to swap back over to Vac. That's not him. That's the stream. Okay. Now we're back to Vac. And let's see about knocking out a few of these nodes before this thing ends up. My windows are being funny on me. Alright, so moving along. We'll start with my Brotherhood. New configuration. You've probably seen it, most of you. There we go. I'm really looking forward. I want to get these guys up around 400k, but man, I still need more blob shards. I don't have him to 7 stars yet. He's effective anyway, right? I started using him right around 5 or 6 stars, and I probably could have done him before. I probably could have got away with it before. He's pretty decent as a stat wall and just soaking up damage. His defense. I mean, his offense would have suffered, but whatever, man. There's plenty of offense on this team. So yeah, we're gonna start off. We don't need to clear any positive effects. Yeah, let's just hit bullseye with a nice big shot and bounce around. All right, and we're gonna bunch these guys up. Love the belly shot. Swap it over to Magneto now. Alright, so we don't have to deal with that blind. That's good. So my lineup strategy is in like my blitz lineup, or just what teams I like to put together. I mean, we can take a walk through my my saved team squad if you'd like. I did put together a roster review video, but it was 2 hours long. I just got a little too verbose in discussing every character, and I probably, when I get to another good milestone, like 11 million or something like that, then I'll make another one that's more around the area of 10 or 15 minutes. Just to, let people see what I'm working with. So yeah, this is all over with. I might even be able to get a second win out of these guys. They didn't really get dinged up. Yeah, we'll see if we can get one more out of the Brotherhood, and then we'll swap to X-Men. All right. I'm going to throw these on autoplay and see how they do. Step away from the computer for about 5 seconds and light a stick of potpourri. Be right back. Oh yeah. Okay, so I don't know about you, but to me, potpourri is an integral part of gaming. Even at this early stage of the morning, it's a lifelong thing for me. So anyway, I like to have a proper ambiance. All right, so you guys probably should be on pyro. Merc Lieutenant's a good choice, but still, come on. I just wish the AI on autoplay was a little smarter in picking opponents to attack. But then again, you know, the computer would be harder if that were the case. So I don't know. Beverly Hills Cop became, I'm assuming, prettier than the cops allow. What? Because nobody had heard of Beverly Hills in Denmark? I don't understand. Like, why would you even rename that? I don't know. My brain hurts. Ow. Dynasty got renamed to Dollars. That's pretty fitting. That's pretty fitting, actually. That's Oh, my mother watched Dynasty when I was growing up. That makes me laugh. Oh, she really loved those daytime soaps. All right, let's see. Man, we could probably get another win out of these guys. Dollars. I like that. It's all about the dollars over here, man. Dollars sure make my life easier. And there are some people that take it to a ridiculous degree of worship. Let's hit the old autoplay, see how they do. Don't attack that tank. Let's get the other bullseye out of here. Who put that wallop on Toad? I loved Beverly Hills Cop growing up. To this day, you can play that little instrumental techno lick, and I get a big smile on my face, you know. Love that shit, man. I grew up on that, man. Eddie Murphy, you know, I mean, I used to go down the block and go to my buddy's house because his parents, he was a latchkey kid like me, and his parents would largely be out of the house. And we go down there and we watch movies like that, and we watch even more. We try to watch Eddie Murphy's stand-up. You know, we were trying to get a VHS tape of Raw and these other stand-up bits that he did, man. And that was that, and we get old Richard Pryor routines and listen to them. You know, and we were all, you know, we were raised in Southern Christian households, and it was just simply not acceptable to watch such trash, you know. And we always wanted to, music-wise, we were always sneaking around trying to listen to NWA and Ghetto Boys and stuff like that, and there's no way my mama would have stood for such a thing, So I guess whatever it is your parents hate, that's what you're most into, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still an Eddie Murphy fan. And in fact, I'm a huge Charlie Murphy fan. May he rest in peace. So it's probably more than just that my mother found him distasteful. And in fact, she likes Eddie Murphy today. She kind of got won over by all the Crumps and the Nutty Professor crap and all that shit. So, all right, we'll drop them now. We're going to pick up X-Men to finish this out. Now, Purdy. So yeah, renaming the shows seems weird to me, but I'm not casting any judgments. I mean, I'm not bilingual. They may not translate well. I don't know. Let's see. Man, go off, Wolvie. Go off. I love that she comes in with lockjaw like that. It's too bad that you really don't see lockjaw with the rest of the Inhumans. And I didn't read a whole lot of the comics, but I know from the show that they had out for that one short-lived, terrible season that it was Crystal, really, that Lockjaw spent the most time around. Lockjaw, if you don't know, is the big teleporting dog that brings Miss Marvel into a match. So yeah, let's do a cannonball on Psylocke. And then we'll try to take Shield Medic down before she heals either of these two. We'll just take them all down, huh? What the hell? All right. Easy peasy. I'm going to build up another charge on her. That way we'll have that on her in case somebody survives the Phoenix Ultimate. Well, it's time to find out. Yeah, a couple of them. Well, Danvers is still up. Danvers is always dangerous. So we're going to go after her and not let her heal herself up. If I just took a couple 3 turns to take out Psylocke, bam, Danvers is full health, Can't do that. All right. So, looks like until U7 comes back around, we're kind of done with raids. That one's going to end up in the next 40 minutes. But we'll have 5 energy to throw at it, or 50. So let's see here. We need an arena, we need a blitz. That's about it. All right. So, look at that, somebody knocked me down to 3. I'm betting I know who it was too. No, it was not. No, it was not. Okay. JP, this guy's hit number 2 here. This guy I've been fighting in the top 3 with JP for a good long time. He was up here fighting with me before Black Bolt and Yo-Yo were cool. But I don't think it's a good decision. The Maw, I don't necessarily know that Maw is strong enough to be out there, and the I'm not. Sometimes it works out great for him, but I just don't like putting Sinister on defense. So I'm going to take a crack at these guys. Meanwhile, I'm going to check in on the war over here. So far, it's all us. Let's get rid of those defense downs on everybody. Stealth up. And then we're going to throw some bots out there that hopefully he'll clone. I'm going to clone a Phoenix. Man, his Mr. Sinister's slow. So I'm not going to waste a big shot on her. I don't really want to kill her. Who's he going to clone? He cloned Ultron himself. Interesting. So I'm going to make that guy my first target. Now we got summons from a clone. So we got to get this guy dead before that compounds and gets out of hand. And there you go. Black Bolt killed him. He's not coming back. And we'll clean up the bots with AE damage. Not a big deal. So now we'll start working Sinister. And we'll let these others hopefully kill our Phoenixes. Yeah, this is going to do it. Yeah. They're with theirs. Which is going to bring out my second Phoenix. And he ability blocked both of them. Which may actually matter in this fight. Get the Black Bolt assist. We're in trouble, actually. Yeah, we're in trouble. Yeah, man. Like I said, JP's always been tough. It's really not a big deal. We were just doing that to do it. I can jump up to 1 from 3 as easy as I can from 2. I like to be a gentleman, right? If I'm going to knock somebody off the top slot, I like to do it from the second slot, so as I'm not really harming them too greatly. I'm just costing them about like 100 cores. So okay, we'll revisit that later. It's understandable, man. I play at work, and there's no way I would try to stream at work. I sometimes try to follow Animagus's stream from work, but mostly just to troll him, right? Like I don't play that game. I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. But I do enjoy watching it. I'm actually kind of learning some stuff watching him. I've been trying to get eyes on a lot of streamers lately. Of course, I've been watching all the big Marvel Strike Force streamers for 2 years. One of the things I'd like to get done today is purchasing and downloading Photoshop. Because I get the feeling it's going to be a big part of this, right? I'm going to need to make thumbnails and other graphical images. And I don't know that I'll ever be great at it, but I'm going to need to engage in it. So, alright. Now we're down to blitzes. And this is not really a blitz I care too much about. if I'm being completely honest. I have had Punisher at 7 stars forever. Like, forever. But I'm going to do some concurrent blitzing with VAC and with, let's see, we're up to halfway through 7. So we'll just pump down here, and we really only need to do, I only need to do 2. And I'm really only going to do 2 on VAC. So yeah, we'll just do our 2 strongest teams. Which, that's arguable, really, but still. We're going to do X-Men and S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, look at that. Look at this 500k hand team. I'm in awe. I am in awe. I realize that's probably jacked, to match my level. It's gotta be, right? It's gotta be. There's no way somebody did that. There is no way someone expended the resources to get a 500k hand team. The boss and the bum. Come on, man. Trading Places was a much better name, but still, that's hilarious. Oh, man. I like that. I like that. Punisher's a pretty good 6 red star pull, right? Like, one of the things, like everybody kind of starts with a defender early on, right? Everybody raises the defenders. They're easily accessed. They're a good team in the beginning. In fact, the mistake that I see a lot of new players make is that they start raising a defender, because that's just the best advice people give them, raise defenders. They're easy, and they are. But the one mistake I see them making is that they kind of they hang on to them for too long, right? And I see people trying to take defenders all the way to gear tier 14, and it's like, no, buddy, no, don't do that, right? Like, get them to 11 and chill, right? That's what you really need to do if you're a new player. Get them to gear tier 11, get them up around level 70, and then fucking chill and move on. But you always want to have, people kind of get stuck on using Miss Marvel because she's probably a little better in raids to go with them. But really, you want to put Punisher with them, and he accounts for a great deal of their DPS. And so he's a good choice for 6 stars, man. I mean, I wished I had a 6 red star Punisher, to be honest. I'd like that. Thank you, please, and thank you, game, the red star gods, if you're listening. But so far, that doesn't seem to be my lot. So yeah, we're gonna have to go with these randos. That's not a bad rando team, but it ain't gonna hold up on against my shield. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds to me like you pushed everything you can out of them, because I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think they're the best choice for DD2. I really don't. And that's why I suggest stopping short. Like, if you want to take them to 12, right? They're pretty beefy at 12. That's good. I suggest stopping short of 13 because there are way better choices to take into Dark Dimension 2, and they're also just most of those choices are on other teams that you should probably be working once you get a good defenders. The amount of resources it takes to take defenders from 11 to 13, you could practically raise an entire another team on that. So that's generally, when people are really early in the game and defenders is their one good team, they're not very wide. And in a lot of modes, it helps to be wide. So that's why I typically tell people, like, stop at 11 and move on. I was wrong. This team's putting it on my shield. I don't care. I just need the credit for completing this victory or this win. This battle, because I don't need to win. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm not trying to get up to 8-4. Oh, I'm sure that was a long time ago. Absolutely, sir. So anyway, like I said, that defeat doesn't sting at all. Drops me down to 7. You know, like, whatever, man. Right? Like, I'm not even trying to score more points. I just want to get my daily reward done. Is all I'm looking to do there. And mission accomplished. So I'm going to knock out a couple blitzes on Baxos while I look at the war here. So we're up to 30 points. Good deal. Nobody's straying. What are we looking at? A 270. See, these are good teams, but still just a little too low for me to want to throw Vac at them. Just a hair too low. I'm just not comfortable attacking anything in the 2s, you know. They got to, you know, I'm attacking a lot of 300K teams and removing them, and they're big punch downs for me, right? Like, I'd you know, being punch downs aren't, when most of your teams are 400 plus, you're not going to get punch downs every day, right? But still, as much as possible, I'd like to. I mean, you're not going to get punch ups every day. It's hard to, you know, there's only so many 500K teams that we're going to see in the course of one war. But still, I try to always reserve my attacks. I don't want to. I could easily waste them on these 2 teams, right? I could spend those energy, remove those blocks, keep us moving. But then I will probably end up wishing I had those teams back later on when we hit reactor or bridge. So I try to be conservative in that regard. Oh yeah, I think they weren't my first full team at 7 gold stars, but they were one of the first synergy teams that I raised to 7 gold stars, right? I mean, my first 7 gold star team was that first meta team back in the day, the Avengers hybrid with Quake and Yondu and Crossbones, Captain America. Yeah, I can't remember who was the last one. Anyway, it was all about speed and area effect damage. And it was a good team. You know, I had all of them to 7 stars, but that meta fell apart pretty quickly once they started. It's like the hand was an experiment in team synergy, and for a brief and shining moment there, the hand was one of the better teams in the game. They still weren't as good as that meta team, but they were good because they were the only team that had team synergies, and they were like, oh, this works pretty well, and then they went too far with it, and they made S.H.I.E.L.D., right? They brought in Nick Fury, and they made the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, and their team synergies were fucking off the charts, and they became the best team for everything. And people were like, hey, you took that a little too far. So they dialed it back, and now you know, every team has team synergies, just not as good as S.H.I.E.L.D., right? So we're like, basically, that era back before the team synergies when hand was pretty good and Avengers was the meta, right? Like back then, that was like another era of a game. It's like it was like another time in history, another epoch. It seems so long ago now. Okay, so if anybody liked the PvP, this is a pretty good lull. Let's see here. What do I got? I'm saving up. I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy Force Transfusion next. Get that little bit of speed boost. I would like to come back around someday and give some love to this guy, get him to 13 or 14. I mean, obviously I could just do it right now, but I don't want to expend my limited resources. But this has always been a character I've really loved, and man, he was such a great part of Daredevil, the show on Netflix. And I've always liked the character. Right, I read a lot of Spider-Man comic books coming up, and he always pretty consistently fought against Kingpin. So Kingpin's always been a villain that I liked a lot. And now I have a 7 Red Star Kingpin, and he's fitting in pretty well on my Merc squad. So I would like to come back around and jack this guy up to 13, maybe even 14 one day, and really give people headaches with our war defense. You know, I like having that jacked up war defense in the bridge. I do like that. So yeah, let's see. I have no plans to blitz further. I am blitzing a little on Baxos. But he doesn't need Punisher shards either. So mostly I'm just, getting his daily done. Getting his milestones. He could use the gold and stuff from the milestones. So as a matter of fact, since I got no action going on the main screen over here, we'll swap you over on your view and let you see me do that. So here's Baxos blitzing with his Sinister 6. And that's pretty much over already. And you know what? I don't feel like getting up out of my chair right now, so we're just going to do this. And we're back. Hello there. So, moving on. Let's see. Need some more milestones. I think that's the one right there. All right. I'm still tripping on Dynasty to dollars. Oh man, I'm still tripping on that. I can see how a nation or two full of people who speak English as a second language would be more familiar with the word dollar than the word dynasty, right? Dynasty is a word that even English speakers don't use very often. So mostly in the context of sports. These days, at least, thank God, we don't have a lot of monarchs running around with long-lasting dynasties anymore. Now we just talk about people's dynasty in the sport. This team has been a dynasty for 10 years. I'm a big Alabama Crimson Tide fan, college football, American football, Mr. Thomas. Sorry. Not your football, my football. And the college version of it is really my favorite sport. And the university from my state, that's basically what my family. I'm from Alabama, and we're the largest state in the union. The most populated state in the union that does not have a professional sporting team of any major stripe. Right? We don't have a major football team. No NFL teams. We don't have an NHL team. We don't have an NBA team. There's a lot of people that live in Alabama, and there's almost no professional sports for them to watch because the money people don't respect our markets, right? We're a more diffuse population, very rural, and there's only a few big cities, and those big cities don't get a lot of respect from the people that they want to put their money in LA and places like that. So college athletics is really the what we're all about there, because mostly it's all we got, right? Everybody else is thumbing their noses at us, so we just throw ourselves wholeheartedly into what we do have, and what we do have is brilliant. I love college football, and we're pretty successful at it, and we're one of those teams that people call a dynasty, which is where I was getting back around to. That was where that long journey was heading. But it's not really true, right? It's more impression. I mean, we're successful, don't get me wrong. We've certainly had more success, especially in recent years, more success than most teams, but we don't win every year. It's not like that. We didn't even make the playoffs last year. So it's not really like that. I mean, we're perennial contenders, right? And that's nice, right? That's first world problems, whatever. But they're not as overpowering as most people, usually just assume. It's just 11 kids playing football, man. It's all it is. At any one time, it's 11 kids on that field, young athletic men just throwing their hearts into it. And that's really what I love about it more than professional sports. I watch the NFL, and it looks to me like millionaires loafing around. Those kids out there playing college football, they got something to prove. Wait, so Dallas was called Denver Clan? Dallas? What's going on here? Does anybody see this? Like there's like a phantom enemy that didn't get removed. What is this? Ah, well, there we go. We shot the phantom enemy, so yay. All right. Yeah. So they do know that Denver is nowhere near Dallas, right? Does that, I mean, that's what's confusing me on that. Colorado is a significant latitude to the north from Dallas, Texas. And I'm pretty sure there's no Denver in Texas. There we go. Ah, that was the German title for dynasty, was Denver Clan. I gotcha. Now Dallas, my mama watched the hell out of Dallas. All right. Yeah, I didn't care much for Dallas. Or Dynasty, really, to be honest. I'm not really into the daytime soaps. But my mama watched a lot of them, so I saw them, a little bit at least. Now, the one thing my mama watched that she and me and my brother and all could agree upon was Patrick Swayze. She'd watch anything with Patrick Swayze in it. I don't know why. And we really thought he was cool, and we loved movies like Roadhouse and stuff like that. And I gotta admit, even as a young man, I kind of enjoyed Dirty Dancing. Right, that was a good movie. I look back on it now. I'm much older, and I watch that film, and I'm like, I feel a little dirty about it. Right, I feel a little dirty about it. I feel a little dirty about the Dirty Dancing because that girl is supposed to be 16 in that movie, and he looks about 35. And there's this one scene in like the banquet hall where like her father like stands up and tries to block him, and he like takes her to go dance, and he says to the father, he says, "Nobody puts baby in a corner." You remember that? And I'm thinking nowadays I watch that and I'm like, yeah, no, he does. He puts baby in a corner because she's 16 and he's her father. You know, I got totally different eyes that I look at this with now. Totally different eyes. It's amazing. It's amazing how life changes you over the years. Because back then I was like, yeah, man, let her dance with that grown man. Fuck yeah. You know, like back then I was cheering it on. And now I'm like, man, they were giving Dad a rough way to go here. Dad wasn't so bad. I don't know. It's the shifting perspective of life. We are all changed from moment to moment by our accumulated experience. Unless you got a bad memory. Yeah. So let's see here. Let's get a little power armor action going on. We'll soften this team up. Go check the war once we get these milestones knocked out. In fact, I can go ahead and check it on back. $32. Somebody moved the ball a little bit, knocked out. Oh, look at that. Who did that? That's good. Smockin', I appreciate the effort, buddy. Good job, Morty. Good job, guys, taking out that Hydra. Let's see here. Let's get our AE fest on. Look at we got all the order out of whack here. All right. So yeah, 260k shield team and a busted up Asgard. Should be pretty clear, pretty easy to clear. Oh, let's see here. A daily viewer of Dallas, you say? Yeah, it was, you know, as far as daytime soaps go, it was good stuff, man. It won a ton of awards, right? To this day, people still talk about the JR dying plot line, right? People still crack jokes about the shower and everything, but I don't know. It just you know, never really appealed to me. I think what it was is by that point in my life, I had been living in Texas for about, I don't know, 8 years, something to that effect. And the braggadocious pretentiousness of Texans had started to wear on me. And to see those jackasses walking around in 10-gallon hats acting like they big stuff, I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. And there's one, like, I'll never forget, I was at a chili cook-off, which is a thing that Texans are really into. They love their chili cook-offs. And they all get together and they cook chili, and they have judges, and it's a competition. And it was an event for the oil company where my mother worked. And I do remember this little old Texas lady, affluent, rich, was there as part of the proceedings, and her son was one of the executives at this particular place. And she, I mean, just in the most patronizing way possible, was talking to us, my family. And I'll never forget this one thing she said that has stuck with me for 35 years now, because I was maybe 11 at the time, is she asked me where I was from. And I said, we're from Alabama, ma'am. And she kind of frowned at me for a moment, like I just told her I had cancer or something. And she said, well, that's okay, hun. At least you're Southern. We can't all be from Texas. And that shit right there, that's Texans to a fucking T, man. That is Texans to a T. That attitude is something that always rubbed me wrong living there, and to this day I still somewhat resent. Like, I can simultaneously be proud to be from Alabama and still see that anyone else is equal to me, regardless of the geography of their birth. And that shit rubs me wrong. Now, when I grew up, we only had 2-3 TV channels when I was first growing up, and we had to get like them long rabbit ears, to get them to come in. But once we moved down to town, it was a little better. For part of my life, I mean, I've been a Rolling Stone my whole life, right? Back in my childhood, my father moved around a lot for work, so we lived out deep in the country. We lived in started living in various cities, in various states, which in your context would be like basically hopping from country to country around Europe. And we moved all over while my daddy chased work. So I got to live in small towns and big towns and no towns and podunk towns, and I've seen all that. And I've lived in big cities. We moved to Houston, and I spent a good number of years there in Texas living in the big city. Houston is about as big as towns come, really. I mean, obviously New York is bigger, but as far as cities go, it's massive. Particularly like spread out massive. There's a lot of Houston out there. And so I've had a pretty good breadth of experience with various regions of living and lifestyles. So maybe I'm just a little more worldly than most. I don't know. Probably not, right? I have not done like Mr. Sander here. I've not, picked up and left the country and served in the military or anything like that. I haven't even really traveled internationally very extensively at all. I've been to Canada and Mexico, and that's it, right? The two countries that have joined my own. So I'm not trying to say I'm Anthony Bourdain, right? I sure as shit can't cook, but I have moved all over the United States, which is geographically that's a lot of moving you can do there, right? I've lived east, I've lived west, I've lived in the middle, and this notion that someone could be better than someone else because of where they were born, which basically comes down to where your parents screwed. Like it's the dumbest notion I ever heard in my life. And that little old lady has stuck with me for years because of that. Even at 11, I'm sitting there staring at this little wrinkled old lady thinking, you're dumb. You're dumb. It struck me as horrible then. Today, it still kind of strikes me as, at the bare minimum, poor taste. One channel. Yeah, I mean, I know they got to have good satellite TV in Europe, right? Shit. You guys have always, been our equal technologically, and in fact, in some ways, our superior. It's a weird how there's this impression in the United States that everybody it's not everybody here feels this way, but there seems to be a lot of really dumb folk around here that have this impression that everybody living outside of the states is living in some form of abject poverty in a country with no technology or infrastructure, and it's just really not. That's not reality. Yeah, that would be a good reason for collecting movies on, hard copy format, is if you're not getting any TV stations or anything like that. And obviously that was before Netflix and the like. Do they have a Danish translation for Netflix? Do you guys get to watch that? I'm sure you do. Okay, now they've started attacking us. So while Vac is is off channel, I'm gonna go ahead and do my boosts, so that I'm not showing off our defensive alignment. All right, I'm gonna save the other two. Well, I mean, I'm glad they're not changing the titles anymore. That seems like it might be distressing to the artists, but do they at least have like a? Sure, yeah. Everybody watches everything off the internet anymore, but they do have. You don't have to watch it in English, I guess, is what I'm asking. There is a Danish translation, or at least a German, right? I'm sure there's a German. I haven't really played around with translation settings in Netflix at all. I mean, I know your English is fantastic, but it's got to be more comfortable for you to watch a show in your native language, right? Yeah, it makes sense. The kids don't have your grasp of English. That makes sense. I guess English is kind of the tie that holds Europe together, right? Like most countries in Europe teach English in school. It is the language of business, I'm always told. You know, only the French refuse to speak English. Well, they do have a long, convoluted, and painful history between the two of them, do they not? I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of men sail across that channel with hostile intentions. Pretty sure there's been a few come from Denmark toward the shores of England as well. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, that's the one benefit still remaining from England's colonial empire is that the English people of today don't have to learn a second language. Everybody else learns theirs, I guess. I don't know. It's probably not the final remaining benefit. All that wealth and power probably is still lingering as well. But, you know, they still got a lot of fine artifacts in museums, right? So that's still lingering, you know. You know, I tried to learn French. I took like one semester in school, and I was like, I would rather learn Latin than do this. And I don't remember any Latin now. You know, Winnie Witty Wiki, right? I remember that, you know. But, yeah, it's not something I've ever, you know, because I mean, I didn't go on to college or, you know, university as you'd call it. I didn't do any of that. I went straight into the workforce, and I've been working for Ford and building cars ever since. So you know, Ford's never needed me to know Latin, so I kind of lost all that. Ford needs me to know how to weld and to fit pipe and how to troubleshoot pneumatic and hydraulic systems. That's what I got to know how to do. That's what my gray matter's filled with. That and games. Yeah, it seems like you guys that I meet from Europe, you are always multilingual. It's like most of your population seems to be. I'm sure it's not everybody, right? I'm sure it's not everybody. I bet a lot of people learn English in school and then really only kind of barely use it afterwards. You know, that's got to happen, right? Not everybody's involved in international business and travel. I know that here where I'm from, I move around a lot, but there are tons of people that I meet who are born, live, and die in the same general vicinity. And I mean, I simultaneously kind of scoff at that, and I'm jealous of it, right? But there's plenty of those people around here, so I assume there has to be those sorts of people in Europe as well, right? You know, maybe to a lesser percentage of the population, but surely they exist. Around here, we usually call them rednecks. Yeah, I mean, I know that my experience learning other languages, it was easier to understand it, particularly on the page, but spoken as well, than it was to formulate a sentence and put it back out there. You know what I mean? I guess you do know what I mean. But I'm pretty firmly monolingual at this point. I have a few minor phrases in Spanish that I can use to communicate, but that's about it. And even that rarely comes up because it's pretty rare that you meet a Spanish speaker in the USA that doesn't know any English. That's not common. It happens, but it's not common. And generally, that guy that comes here and doesn't know the language at all, you don't end up interacting with him. His family ends up being kind of an intermediary. I did have a wonderful conversation with a man one day via his daughter who translated for us. But yeah, you know, it's there's all types out there. Yeah, so it's harder for you to write. I always found it a little easier on the page. But maybe it was all that drilling and conjugation. I really should have took that Ghost Rider out quicker, but it's not hurting us. Almost done with Baxos' rotation. Looks like we got some activity going over here. Kopachez is on the job. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I really never Kopachez. I don't know. Proto Brawler team. We'll go with these guys. So nobody learns French anymore. Mostly German then? I mean, France and Germany are pretty much the two biggest countries in Europe, right? Maybe followed by Spain. Am I right about that? Pretty sure it goes Germany, France, Spain, right? Isn't that the size layout? I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, my knowledge of this largely stems from strategy gaming, you know, Europa Universalis, stuff like that. I'm not necessarily a student of geography. I sometimes feel like it because most Americans are so bad at it, but you know, like I say, most of what I know from freaking video games. So I see some numbers moving. If you're just coming in, this is Mortytown TV. My name is Vac. I am the alliance leader for the Mortytown Locos, hence the name. We play Marvel Strike Force. We're a Gold 2 alliance. In the middle of a war today, in fact. Now what you're looking at right now is a free-to-play account I play on the side that I took over from my brother when he quit playing. My main account we're going to jump back over to here in a little minute. Hopefully when we drop Flight Deck 2, which looks like we're getting close to doing. Just 3 little Asgardians standing in our way. So yeah, that's all the blitzing that we're going to be able to do on Baxos today. So, not quite ready for the war, but what we're going to do after we grab all this, the raid's over. I'm wondering, do we have enough raid credits to start a new one? And we're short. We're short. 13.6, we need 14 and change. So we're going to have to hope that sometime a little closer to the noontime hour we'll be able to fire that off. I might have to do it off camera at work. But if you're just here to see how I handle U7, then you could probably get a good idea of that from any of the previous streams, you know. I've only been using 1 or 2 teams. And maybe, you know, I wouldn't feel right making a Ultimate 7 team video because so many other people have done that. And in fact, I'm pretty sure people have done the team I'm using. So I would just be biting off, you know, like I'm not really looking to do that. I'm not wanting to walk on any other streamer's toes. I'm not gonna make a tier list. I'm not gonna you know, rank all of the offers every day because I could not do it as funny as OMG does. You know, I'm not gonna do a weekly mailbag or anything like that. So we're gonna make some short form videos, right? Because one, it'd be fun. Two, it would be instructive for me as well as the viewer. And three, oh, I need that. Three, well, I've lost three. But I'm not going to do that. Oh, looks like we're there. I just got the message. Just got the text on my phone. We have finished room number 1. So it's looking like we're in engineering next, which we knew that, right? That's why we attacked that room. And I'm not seeing anything that's really frightening me. This is what I'm looking at. So we're gonna swap back over to the main account. Here we go, back on back. So now this is their kill box essentially, right? Both of these rooms are going to be like this. But man, if they stack their best people in engineering and security, that'll be a new one on me. And this doesn't look like their best people either. So, and that's why I like to have like our best people in security and bridge, which are followed by like our second best people in the in engineering and security. And you know, it doesn't really shake out like that because everybody's always kind of going up and down and jostling in total collection power. So it's really more about like where everybody was at when I said it. I like to go in and jack it around every now and then as I see examples of things getting out of whack. So anyway, for right now though, we're gonna jump down and we're gonna back out of here and we're gonna go look these two guys up. Because that's the process. So we're looking for 5th Legion and Strong Brother. Strong Brother is 4.8. 5th Legion is 3.0. So we're gonna go for the 3 million guy. That's probably, those buffs are not gonna matter that much against the 3 million. So that's what we're gonna do. We're going to attack 5th Legion at 3 million and call that out. So if you're Morty, if you're in the channel now, 5th Legion and engineering, Morty, clear and move down. Maybe I should do that with more of a Rick voice. Hey, 5th Legion, all right, never mind. We're not going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and call that out real quick. Because for me, the biggest part of strategy in war, aside from just regular run-of-the-mill being efficient, the best strategy that you can employ is to focus fire. Everybody should be attacking the same thing, the same person. When you diffuse your attacks and spread them around, everything, it just doesn't have the same effect. So what we're gonna do in this, so now that we see that this room is double buffed, right? Which you can't see that right now, sorry. Now that we see that this room is double buffed, what we call a kill box, meaning that it has a defense up and a defense down on it, which basically means it's adjacent to both security and engineering. Since we know, obviously it's adjacent to engineering, it is engineering, and so we know it's adjacent to security, right? Well, the flight deck 1 and 3 are not adjacent to security, so now we know for sure that security is in this middle lane right here underneath engineering. So our next course of action, Now, I would prefer that this be reversed. That would be better for me. I feel like the defense up from engineering is more effective than the defense down from security, is my general feeling, because we have the impetus, right? Like, it's on us. Like, you get to decide what team you're taking in there to attack, right? The defender doesn't get that luxury. So you can choose the correct team that's going to give you the right amount of crowd control in this situation to make sure that they're not really throwing enough damage at you for that defense down to be that impactful, right? Or you could just as equally bring a character in like Maw or Shuri that will give 1 or 2 turns of defense up to your group, thereby negating the defense down. And really, if you're on the offense, as I said, you should be the one controlling the flow of the match. So what's more damaging in my mind is the enemy having a defense up and pulling the teeth out of your attacks, where you blow all your good stuff and they're still standing. Now you're in trouble, right? Whereas you can get around the defense down that's put on your people by using crowd controls, by using character counters. There's various methods, or just overwhelming offense, right? There's just various methods that you can use to get around that. So I've always considered engineering to be the more critical of these 2 rooms to drop. Unfortunately, we don't want to do that today because they put engineering on top of security, right? And what we want to do in this situation is drill down the middle and take out the bottom of these 2 rooms completely, because adjacent to the bottom one is going to be the rooms we want, right? There's very little chance that we have reactor or bridge sitting up here underneath these flight decks. That's very unlikely. That's more than likely cargo bay and hangar or something to that effect, right? So what they're probably doing is somewhere down here in the bottom, most likely adjacent to security, they're going to have their high value, high target rooms. So what we want to do is drill down and take security completely out. Now, I would rather it be engineering, like I say, because I consider that more important, but whatever's there is there, and we just got to roll with it. So we're going to drill down through engineering. We're then going to move down to security. We're going to full clear security, and that should give us a good look at the map, right? We'll be able to see 3 rooms that are adjacent to it. We'll get an idea of what they're doing, what those rooms look like. Will give us a fairly good guess on what the 2 bottom corners are going to be, and then we can work out our strategy from there. Yeah. Let's see now. So, yeah, engineering is what we want to do. Unfortunately, again, those teams are they're in too shallow water for a whale like me to swim up there and bite them. I guess is the best analogy. So I'm gonna have to leave those 130s and 140s alone and let the Mortys take care of that. And I can see that Murr is on the job. So what we can do, and by we I mean me, and you can come along and watch me, is we're going to go take our daily dose of Dark Dimension 3 pain and move the ball on that. Pick up our raid completion reward. And what else we got here? Probably going to have some orbs, right? Yeah, give me them orbs. I want that gear. I don't need this so much, but I'll take it. There's always going to be new characters coming out, and I'm going to need tier 3s to get them through it. I'm pretty sure at this point I have enough tier 2 materials to last me a lifetime. And I'll take all of this. Nom, 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 nom. So, moving on to Dark Dimension. This, full disclosure, is not my favorite game mode and never has been. DD1, DD2, and now DD3 I have found to be tedious and uninteresting. It very much reminds me of large PvE raids and MMOs, which never was a thing I liked. Just not my thing. I prefer to fight against players. It's usually a more dynamic, interesting experience. So yeah, I like to go with Coulson on the first run, and then I'll spend 200 cores and heal 4 of them and bring Sinister in instead of Colster on the next run. So the name of the game here is basically just do as much damage as you can before you die, because you're going to die quickly and horribly. It's kind of just the way this mode goes. Dark Dimension 2 was kind of like that, but once you got a good team together and got into a groove, you could start rolling through nodes, and it took forever, but you might be able to knock out 2 or 3 nodes in one day. You are never going to do that in Dark Dimension 3. I don't care how many guys. I mean, maybe if you have a full entire roster of Gear 14 characters, you could maybe pull that off. But it's not happening, man. It's just not happening. This stuff is brutal. So let's see here. I want to start focusing Storm before she starts building up charges on me. Definitely want to get some deep. There we go. Now, I don't want to stealth here. If I stealth here, these guys are going to do so much damage that while everybody else is stealth, they're going to kill Phoenix twice. And I'm not going to get to use her ultimate. Now, chances are I might not get to use her ultimate anyway, because these guys do drop some heavy damage. But I at least want to offer myself the opportunity. There goes my Ultron. There goes Ultron. But that's better than losing Phoenix, which I want to lose her once. Here we go. See, like that right there when Phoenix spawned in, that was the most damage I've done this whole fight, right? And now that I compound this on top of it, that is easily the majority of the damage that I've done in this fight. So if you're heading into Dark Dimension 3, for God's sakes, take Phoenix to 14 first. Black Bolt after that, probably. But Phoenix is you're gonna get more use out of Phoenix because you can carry her into the second phase, the global phase, whereas Black Bolt does not apply. So we didn't get to use her ultimate. Nobody survived long enough. But the majority of the damage that I did during that fight was her spawning in the Dark Phoenix, and then her special that she uses immediately afterwards. And that is pretty much how you beat most of these nodes. You really could just like keep resurrecting Phoenix and bringing her in and dying, and do better than bringing in a full 5 team of other people. Really, Phoenix is the star of Dark Dimension for at least the first half, right? For at least the first half. But we are awful close to the end of this thing, and I'm trying to put the cores in to at least do 2 of these a day, right? I was doing 1 a day for a long time, and I started thinking this shit's gonna take forever. So I at least should put in a minimum investment to cut the time in half. But right now, the only people I know who finished this are like the super whales. You know what Casino calls the Krakens. Guys like Tadano Mac Japan, who finished it first, and guys like Casino, who has such a successful stream that he received large numbers of donations every day to do 3-4 attacks a day, and that got him through it way quicker, right? Casino's not a guy I would really. He's the people's whale, right? That guy's making a complete living doing streaming, and God bless him, more power to him. But it also means that he's not one of these Krakens, right? He's not, he's a whale that's being supported by an ecosystem, shall we say? So that's in many ways a burden, and in many ways a luxury, right? I'm both happy for him, and I do not envy him in this regard. You know, it's a mixed bag. But he was able to go through Dark Dimension 3 pretty quickly. And I watched most of it and was glad to be able to. They seem to like to pick on Ultron. So I want to get rid of this taunt because I don't want to clone him. But I don't necessarily want to clone. See, if I clone him, I'm screwing Yo-Yo. So I'm going to clone Black Panther. They seem to be ignoring Phoenix, which is bad because if Phoenix is the last one left alive, they end up killing her so fast that she's not able to accomplish much. But the same thing happens if you stealth, right? Like one thing you want to avoid is you cannot let them just focus Phoenix for 2 or 3 turns. Like there's no recovering from that. Like that right there, I'm going to get some good damage with her spawning out. And again, I'll get to do this, right, which killed a few of them. That's probably the most effective thing that I did the whole fight. And these are maxed out characters. Like there's no way to make that Phoenix any stronger except to pull the 7th red star on her. That's it. And the same thing goes for a lot of those guys. But these are all maxed out characters. And yet still, I take my daily ass whooping. It is what it is, right? This is the mode. This is what they wanted. I don't understand that. It's not fun, right? It's really not fun. It's not that entertaining. I don't understand this methodology of game design. But I mean, the methodology is they put rewards at the end that they know I'll fucking want, and then they you know, hey, you want to speed up a little, don't you? Give us a few bucks. And these are the tactics that I feel like it's a bit over the top for them to employ. You look at the numbers that they're reporting, and it's a very successful company that's making a lot of money. So while I don't for 1 second feel like they should just forget about making money, I think that the efforts that they go to, and especially the lack of communication and the occasional misleading statement makes things worse. It makes it look bad. Makes it look bad. I feel like there's probably some money guys in that organization, some corporate types, that are really fucking things up for everybody. But hey, I'm a union labor guy, and I'm kind of distrustful of corporations as a whole. I've spent my entire life trying to scrape and get my fair share out of corporations. So I don't know. Maybe my view is slanted. I don't really know what's going on over at Fox Next. I'm not even an envoy, let alone an employee. And I've never talked to them. I receive no information from them. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. So that's all we can do on DD3. And let's see. I think we're just kind of hung on the war until some people get in here and move the ball in engineering. So there's no damage that I can do there. We're probably 3-4 hours from that maintenance, something to that effect. Let me see if Baxos has any energy. I could put Baxos in there. Baxos could do something. Let's do that. So we will swap this over. to Baxos. Like so. And he's got 1 energy to throw at this. I don't think he's going to beat an X-Men team. I'm not sure he's going to beat a Merc team. But we'll punch down on him if we can and see what we can do. We'll throw his brawlers in there. It's a 100k punch down. I'm interested to see if they can do some good. At least kill 1 or 2. You know, or hell, maybe these guys will do what they always do and, you know, kill half my team before I get to move. I don't know. I don't know. Huh. Wow. Wow. 100k punch down. So let's see, she'll clear this blind before she uses this. Okay, this isn't going to do us any good, so I'm going to conserve the team by backing out of that. So he does have a like a 300k-ish BKT, which would kind of be overkill for this team, and he's out of energy for now anyway. So that'll be that. I'm counting on you, Morty. You're our only hope. So, we'll go back over to Vax, or to Vac. And let's see, I got 40 energy to spend. Can knock that out real quick. Gonna put that on Corvus. Trying to finish him up, get him 14. Which I think will be my first 7 Red Star character that I get to 14. So I'm interested to see what those numbers look like. And we might get to. We may get to right now. No, we're still short on catalysts. But we're not terribly far away. We're not terribly far away. So maybe later today. Probably later today. The evening session for sure. And I don't have any plans after work, so I'm probably going to come home after work and stream 2 to 3 hours before bed. You know, I should probably not and ignore you and work on my new tower. I don't know. I'll decide while I'm away. But I do want to be a prolific streamer. I want to keep the content coming. I know that the more we put it out there and the more likes that we get, the more comments that we get, the more likely that the algorithm will put us up, basically suggest us to other people. You know, when people are watching a casino video, they'll go, oh, hey, you may like this Marvel Strike Force streamer. You know, so that's what we're looking to do, is get on those kind of playlists. All right. I do have energy to spend on Baxos. Did I not spend his morning energy? I have not. Let's go do that. Let's let you see that. That might even get us enough tickets. Probably not, but it might even get us enough tickets to start up the Ultima 7 raid. At least that is my hope. But in either case, I need to get my farm on with this guy because he needs a Phoenix, right? So Baxos is a free-to-play account, but I typically earn enough cores every day to at least get these 50s, right? So I don't have enough for 100 today. We're going to let that accumulate. And we're going to go ahead and jump onto his roster here. Now, at the top of this is kind of how I operate. I don't know how you do, but this is how I use favorite characters. The favorited characters on my roster, which you may have noticed right now, there are no favorited characters on my roster. And by favorited, if you're not aware, a favorited character is a character that you have that has this little blue heart next to it. And you click on the character, you click the little heart down here at the bottom, that character automatically goes to the top of your list. So you don't have to scroll down and try to find them. So what I have here are 6 characters on Baxos that I've deemed the most important characters for him to farm right now. And 6, I really prefer to have 5, but I've got 6 right now because I'm trying to work that aim team up. And generally you want 5 or 6 characters like this when you're working your way through the mid range of the game. That every day you farm these characters. You don't have enough energy to farm everybody, so you need to prioritize the most important 5, right? So right now, basically, I'm raising these two aim characters because he needs a better aim team, and he was way behind on shards for them. Of course, I'm raising Hela because he's already got a really good Asgard, and that only makes it better. Plus, that's how he's marching toward Black Bolt. That's what's holding him up from Black Bolt. Falcon, of course, is a wonderful character that I would like to use in arena with him, and also Falcon's kind of lagged behind the other power armor on his squad, so I put Falcon in the mix. Hand Assassin obviously is there to get Phoenix, and then Shocker is the last character that he needs. Or really, it's not the last, but I threw Shocker in there because he needs to be working on Sinister 6, and I figured I'd just work Shocker for now and then move to somebody else later, probably what's his name? Green Goblin, right? So right now what we're going to do is we're going to take this energy and we're going to spend it on farming shards on these characters and hope we get a little satisfaction, right? Like I'll take those 4. That was actually enough that we're going to be able to raise him. So we're going to rank him up. That'll get him his 5th star. 52K. I like it. So that's progress. That's good. So basically these characters are going to stay here at their favorited level until I get them to 6 stars. Then they come off, right? I don't farm the 7th star. I never have. In some cases I have, because you can only get that character out of the store, so you just keep farming out of the store. You don't, you're not good. If you're not going to get, but any character that you can get out of orbs, I stop at 6. Right, those last 300 shards, I let orbs bring them into me. I do not worry about farming 300 freaking shards. That's a lot of shards to farm. So I get that character to 6 and I forget about it. I move on. There's some other character that needs to be worked on, right? And so I leave them at 6 and I let them just sort of organically grow to 7. So a little bit on security there. So we're looking good there. We got both of those guys to 5. That aim team is starting to really kind of come around. Let's see if we can get a little progress on Hela. Thomas, I'm going to be streaming. Sorry, I had that minimized. I don't know how long ago you said that. I'm going to be streaming for maybe the next 20 minutes, at best. But I will be back tonight. I'm going to have to, in about an hour, I'm going to have to get up, walk away from here, and go to work. But I will be back tonight. So we're gonna get some Falcon shards, hopefully. Couple of them. We'll take them. Daily progress. So yeah, I intend to stream. I'm kind of out of stuff to do at this point. But if this gets us to where we can start U7, I'm gonna go ahead and do U7. Otherwise, I might knock it off so that I can do some administrative stuff before work. So a couple shards on her. Really, honestly, this lady here is what's holding me back from getting a Phoenix on Baxos, which I'm pretty sad about because she's here right now. And then since we have a few energy left here, we're going to get Shocker up. Because I want to raise that Sinister 16 before any other Spider-Verse. Because they're useful for roster building. They are useful because you can use them to get both a Shuri and an invisible woman. So that's a pretty good deal for a team like Sinister Six, which is a useful team, right? They have a good niche in war. They'll take out those big defender squads that you see all the time. So anyway, we got 50 energy left, and we're going to put that onto an AIM member for gear. So looking here, it looks like our lowest AIM member is Graviton, right? And we're certainly farming his shards out of the store right now, as every time we see him, right? So he is just shy of gear tier 11, so we're going to farm up some gear on him and hope we get lucky, but I don't know if we're going to get it. I don't know if we're going to get 3 of these out of 50 energy. But we may. And we did. And we did. I'm going to save that last 10 energy for right now. Yeah, there we go. Little Graviton upgrade. Love it, love it, love it. So that's going to take him. That really wasn't that big of an upgrade. 800 points. I feel a little deflated. But it's progress. It's progress. So now we're going to take a look at the AIM squad. So at this point, security is the lowest one. No joy, but whatever. We made some stuffs. So, get our milestones. Okay. Let's pick up whatever supplies that is. And actually, I'm curious just how many T4s that Baxos has. So we're going to look at that really fast. Because I don't remember having bought any T4s on him for a while now. He's done with Ultron. I'm not real sure where I'm going next on him for T4s. At least I think he's done with Ultron. Let's double check that. Yeah, he's done with Ultron. He's got to get him to T14 still, but still, that's going to be a long grind for him. He's not at a point where he can farm those later campaign nodes yet. So, and he really needs to be farming character shards at this point, and just kind of let the gear come via orbs. So we can't get any rush on tier 14 on Ultron. And there's really no need to. This guy's not going to be in Dark Dimension 3 anytime soon. So, what kind of T4s are we looking at here? We have 220. All right. So, we don't have enough for an ultimate. But we could buy one. Let me look around here and see if there's any character in particular that I feel like needs that love. Not really. I think I'm going to pick up this, I think I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to think about it. I'm not going to spend it just yet. We'll hang on to it. Could give a little love to his Asgard team, which isn't terrible. Isn't terrible. She needs leveled. I was wondering about that. Okay. So that's all we're going to do right now on Bax. We'll pick up his, make sure he's got all his daily objectives done. He needs some more raids. He needs to buy supplies. He needs arena. He needs his challenges. We probably should go ahead and do that. I'm not going to try to push the ball on challenges with him today. We're just going to pick up what he's got. At some point, there we go. So that's good progress there. He definitely needs some training materials. And now that I'm thinking about it, actually, that's one thing we're going to do on his roster. Is I was raising the level of the aim the other day, and I didn't have enough to do them all. I had the gold, so I thought I could do it, but I ran out of training materials. And no, I came back and fixed it. They're all at 74. So we're going to let that sit. I don't want to take them to 75 just yet. That's going to be really expensive. I probably really should put that gold into another team, to be honest. But I've been having trouble with these villain nodes in the campaign, and he's got a couple left to knock out, and 3 left here. And 7-7's been kicking my ass. Like, he's just been having no luck taking this out. So I've been trying to jack the AIM team. Because, I mean, in my experience, like here, since the rework, AIM has been really one of the top 10 teams in the game. It's fantastic. And I know I'm probably biased by the fact that I have 2 7 red stars on that team, and that mine's probably a little better than most. But still, I'm high on the team. I have a lot of regard for them, and I think that they're worth having on the roster. So he needs raised supply purchases, arena. Let's go ahead and do some arena with this guy. What do you say? I'll show you what Baxos is doing in arena right now. He was when I inherited him, he was in the 500 range. So we and it was using the defenders. He's got a really good defenders, right? But there's like a plateau there, right? Like when you have a good defenders as your team in arena, you know, you can really rise with that, but only so far. You hit a ceiling. So once I got Ultron on him, I shifted to this BKT Ultron setup right here, minus Thanos, and this is not the end all be all. We're still working on all of the, you know, now I'm at the point where I've gained another 100, 200 slots since I made the shift to this team, but he's hit another ceiling, so to speak. I can sometimes work my way down to around 250 every day, but it's difficult to progress because everybody now has a Phoenix, everybody has a Minerva, everybody has an Ultron. So while I'm certainly sporting a few of those characters myself, the lack of a Phoenix is what really hurts at times. So I think looking at this, Zenkius there might have been our best bet. But it looks like, look at Carol Baskin. So look at Dale Jackson here. Now this guy's got a 500k defenders. And that's significantly stronger than my 300k BKT. But there's a possibility I could take that team and jump all the way to 290. And I might have an easier time doing it, really, than any of these teams that have a Phoenix. So we're going to give it a shot. You know, win or lose, doesn't matter too much. It's just a few cores. But it would be a nice jump. It would be a nice jump. And in either case, I just need to get to log into attacks with this guy on arena. All right, so let's see here. My typical strategy here is kill Iron Fist. And that usually right there, that means win. They are not bringing Iron Fist back. I will bring back anybody they kill as long as it's not Minerva. So they didn't manage to. I thought they were going to kill Groot for a second there, but they didn't manage to. So I need to kill Punisher. Minerva's going to take a hit from Punisher for this. And then Punisher is going to come immediately back with his... But he might kill as many as 3 of us if I let him get that off. He's going to get that off. I can't stop him. So, yeah, let's heal. Let's just do it. And hope that it's enough to keep everybody alive. We'll throw the bots out. No, there we go. See, now we're in trouble. We're in trouble. So we still might win this. But it's pretty much anybody's ball game now since he got Minerva. So still liking our chances, especially don't blind him, especially if we can get Daredevil out of here fairly quickly. We'll see how this goes. Of course, Daredevil dodges. And Luke's going to taunt here in a minute. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to finish Murdoch before then, but this might give me some good chances at it. No, so close. Oh no, I might get it. I might get it. Luke didn't get to go. All right, so I'm feeling pretty good. We're going to win this. Somebody's texting me. What do you got? Oh, okay. Old buddy of mine from Nashville. All right, so we're going to want to, I typically say don't use Groot's ultimate as a heal. Just think of it as a cleanse. But we don't have any other healing right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and freshen everybody up a little bit. All right. I would rather use this ultimate on JJ. We're going to see if we can strip the taunt. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Drop the big hammer on JJ from Groot. Okay, now I don't really need to use it on JJ. She's too hurt. So I'll save it for finishing off Luke Cage if it comes to that. He does. Well, he did have a death proof. He doesn't anymore, but he does have a defense up, which is kind of hard to avoid with Luke because he does it himself, right? But this should do it. There we go. Glad I saved it. So 290. Now, again, if you're just logging in, this is not my main account. This is a free-to-play account that I play on the side. We're kind of done with everything on my main account right now. So unless somebody wants to PvP or something like that, we're not a lot more damage that we can do over there, and we're pretty much done with Maxos now. But I did spend all that energy, so let's see if that gave us enough to start the Ultimate 7 raid. And man, so close, so close. I need 14.4. I got 14.2. If any of you Mortys are hanging around out there, you got any energy to spend your energy. Let's get this thing going. I want to get some. I want to get to working on my lane before I go to work. And also, if we get it started before I leave, then I can get Baxos going as well. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to wait till I get home later to do anything on Baxos. Not that he's really only good for like 4, maybe 5 nodes tops in Ultimate 7 anyway, but we'll see. So we're going to swap back over and let you we're going to put eyes back on the main account, VAC. And the origination of VAC, by the way, is I used a random name generator in a game that I played ages and ages ago, right around 2001, 2002. It was a game called Dark Age of Camelot, and it was a really big game for me. I played it for a long time. I really loved the PvP. I met a lot of great people, many of which I still game with today, and one of whom is in this alliance with us. And I just used a random name generator when I made the character. I made a dwarf healer. I thought, well, I'll make a healer. That'll make me popular. I'll get groups, And that did turn out to be the case. And I just used a random name generator, and it gave me the name Vakon, right? Which is Vakonn. And I was like, that's cool. Kind of has a nice ring to it. Vakon, yeah, And so since then, you know how it is. People usually shorten your name to three letters. And so I've been Vac pretty much ever since. I've just stuck with that name from game to game to game because I stick with people from game to game to game, right? Not only do I maintain contact with and continue to play with every good player that I can, but there are times that I lose track of people, but then run into them later in another game and they recognize my name and say, hey, are you the Vac from Dark Age of Camelot, or are you the Vac from, Warhammer Age of Reckoning? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. So I've just kept the name all these years. And so we're still toting it. Now it's not Vac on very common anymore. Now it's mostly just Vac. I only go with Vac on if I can't get the name Vac. Sometimes people got it tied up. In fact, there's another YouTuber named Vac. In fact, he doesn't. I don't think he even does gaming. I think he does some other thing. But I searched him up one point. So, here we could take another shot at that number 2 team. I actually failed this attack earlier, which doesn't happen often. But things didn't go my way. Things did not go my way. And yeah, the addition of Maw into the meta has shook things up. I'm still not convinced that it's like. I'm not convinced that it's so overwhelming that it negates the need to use Phoenix, or that it even really justifies the presence of Maw. I still feel like there are probably better characters that could be put there, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm really not. That's just my impression from fighting up here in these upper echelons. So we'll see how it goes. So what I'm hoping for here is that he'll clone a bot. No, he cloned Phoenix. So we're in for a fight. We're going to try to get rid of Mr. Sinister so he doesn't even get a chance to heal. I'm going to clone a Phoenix of my own. So this is a 4 Phoenix fight. These are always fun. These are always a lot of fireworks. So that's the only clone he's going to get. And this clone is not, I really don't want to kill her. I'd like to pop some of these other guys out of stealth. Because she's going to die kind of easy. Clones do. So, alright. It's everybody dies time now. Black Bolt killed them both. We're going to have to take 2 Phoenix. That was probably... It's better to stagger them. It's better to stagger them. So look at all these Phoenixes popping all of a sudden. My gosh. So now what I have to do is make sure that none of these Phoenixes get off their abilities as much as possible. So I'm not even going to worry about healing here. I'm gonna strike her and get the backup from my clone so that clone is just gone. And now we're going to work on his Phoenix. Hopefully we can get her down before even, he's got me ability blocked, and I'll take that, right? But hopefully I can get her down before she uses her ultimate, and that'll pretty much be ball game. But no, never mind. He just threw a wallop on me with his, man. So it might be, I don't know, maybe I need to start rethinking my composition. BP seems to have the most effective group with Maul, and I don't. He doesn't even have the best Maul, to be quite honest. Insane Native has a 6 Red Star Maul that's higher strength than that. I don't know. So anyway, we'll be back later there to try to snipe number 1 toward the end of the day. And let's see, it's 11:30. I wish I could start the raid up. That would be the perfect thing to do right now. I can go ahead and knock out one more node on the Greek raid, I guess. So now what is this? Kree, Spider-Verse, or Guardians? Okay. 100% Spider-Verse. If I can find them. There they are. Okay, so we're going to autoplay this because these guys typically just kind of roll through everything on these raids. I've never had an issue with this team. Love that symbiote Spider-Man. Such a great character. See, like, they're not even attacking optimal targets. Like, I don't care. They're going to roll right through it all. Keep themselves healed up handily in the process, I imagine. Seems to be the typical result. Hopefully when I log in later, what's his name? The guy who runs the Black Water will be in #1 because they're way easier to take than those hybrids, man. Those BB Yo-Yo hybrids that have a maw in them are way harder to take. And then maybe all I really need to do is just sort of swap Phoenix out for somebody, and I'd have a better time at it, possibly. I don't know. We'll experiment with it, you know. It's not really that big a rush. I mean, if I finish anywhere in the top 5, I'm pretty satisfied. That's really all it takes. I'm not hurting for cores necessarily. And it's nice to get that 500 a day. I missed the times when I didn't even have to really do much and I'd get 500 a day. But I got more. My server got merged and I have a lot more competition now, and that's cool. On the one hand, it's, you know, free stuff's always great, but on the other hand, you know, a little competition's always nice. So, 14-4. Looks like we're at 14-4. So whoever went out there and got us some tickets, I appreciate it. Good on you, Morty. Good on you. So, I'm going to set up Vac and Vax both here. And we're going to do a raid. So we might as well go strike team 1. It's kind of all the same on these, so I don't sweat it too much, right? I just we'll just test, since it's open, we'll take the middle lane here, the middle wing. We'll send Baxos down the other lane. Now, he does not have a team good enough to just sort of fire and forget and roll through all this. I mean, I end up using his entire roster basically to make any appreciable progress in Ultima 7. So typically, what I do with him is I start off with his 200K Asgard team, and that's usually good enough to clear the first node, right? And it saves the other teams the wear and tear. So we need to we're on timer over here, so let's Let's start by focusing Electra, although we won't get to for long. But let's go ahead and get those guys rolling. They're pretty well fire and forget. They're not going to have any issue with that node. And we're going to do the same with Asgard over here on the other side of the screen. And we're just going to keep them rolling. I'm down to about a half hour tops here, and I'm going to have to get up and walk away. Really less. I have an hour and a half to be at work, and I need to pick up some food on the way and eat there. And good Lord, right now with the COVID-19 and everything, man, drive-through lines are freaking long around here. I don't know about where y'all at, but they're crazy long around here. BlueStacks just froze up on Baxos, so we're going to have to reset him. Not really BlueStacks, just the marble window. So we'll let that roll on autoplay for a second. I'm going to step away and be right back. All right, how we doing? Good timing. Good timing. All right, so Baxos is logged back in. We want our node, keeping it moving. Keeping it moving. So if you just joined us, you caught us right at the tail end of the stream here. We're knocking out the rest of our U7 nodes before we log off. Not necessarily for the day, but for the now. I'm probably going to stream an evening session tonight. I'm certainly going to have moves that I'm going to have to make, and I'm going to be playing at home, so I might as well record them. So Mortytown TV, still going, still going. If you're new here, then we call it Mortytown TV because I'm the leader of the Mortytown Locos, which is the name of our alliance. And if we haven't met, my name's Vac. I think at least two of you in here I know. But I have been a 2-year-long Marvel Strike Force player. I'm clocking in at about 10 million collection power, just a little over. And I don't know if I can make your game better. Hopefully I can, in some small way. And that's really what we're here to do. Just have a little fun, hang out with friends, engage the community, and hopefully I can help you step your game up a little bit and simultaneously, answer, questions, etc. But also just engage in some community. It's always good to get to know people, network. But that's the two main things. The two main things we're aiming for here is, I'm not really necessarily, unlike Casino, right? I'm not really focused on educating. And I'm not really focused on entertaining either, much like Valley. I just, I'm going to try to ride the middle. All right, I hope that you're entertained by some of the conversations that'll pop up in this stream, and I hope that maybe there's something useful that you can glean from watching my playtime. Because I don't think most players are swimming up here in these waters, but or at the very least, I know for a fact there's only 81 players who are playing at a higher level, but there are certainly guys that know the game better than me that are at a lower TCP, casino included. Although I haven't had a look at his TCP in a while. I mean, he might be higher than me now. It wasn't that drastic a difference. I couldn't tell you what his current total collection power is. I know the last time I saw it, it was kind of shocking to me. I was like, oh shit, I got a higher TCP. Which, hasn't taken the shine off my hero. That guy's incredible, and I've learned most everything I know about this game from him. The amount of work that he and his team put in to help the community is impressive, right? I mean, he gets to do it as a full-time job. This is a sideline for me, right? But yeah, I mean, the effort that they put in to do tier list streams and infographics especially, and and the amount of resources that can be found on his Discord. I don't know that I've ever seen a content creator engage that much with the community and be that helpful. So, all props to that guy. It looks like, all right, here we go. We got to get Baxos rolling. He's just sitting there, hiding underneath the YouTube window, doing nothing. All right, so we got the ball moved a little bit on engineering. Still teams that are too low for me to mess with. But we'll get there. We got all day, right? Now, at some point, we're going to reach a level of success where, it's not Gold 2, but we're going to reach a league where the name of the game is going to be full clears, and it's all going to come down to who clears first, right? We're a long way from that, but that is the ultimate destination. But for now, we got all day, because we're not going to full clear these guys, and they're not going to full clear us. At least I'm fairly confident they're not going to. Blood ale. Man, I just love Black Bolt. I mean, everybody does, right? Everybody loves effectiveness. And that guy's effective. He's the closer of the game. I was saying this earlier in the stream. He's just the closer of the game. That free attack on anyone less than 25%, especially if you pair him up with other characters that have attacks that hit the whole team, which of course he's in a team full of them on Inhumans, then it becomes super effective because it's those AE attacks that get people set up for him, right? Like generally, AE attacks are good, but their only drawback is that they, instead of being like high target or high single target damage, they're kind of doing good damage to everybody. And the one weakness to that is that it gives teams breathing room to recover, right? Like you hit everybody, everybody goes down to red, and then a Shuri or a Minerva heals everybody up all of a sudden, and it's like you did nothing, right? Whereas Black Bolt, having Black Bolt on the team, close is good enough, right? The game becomes fucking horseshoes all of a sudden, and you just got to get him most of the way there, and he'll finish them off. It's just too sweet. So anyway, I'm sorry, I was kind of looking at the other side over here, so let's get rolling again. We got at least one more node that we can pop out. Let my autoplay team roll. This hat kind of helps with the lights.
I'm sorry if it's obscuring my face. But I was, number one, kind of having a bad hair day. And number two, like these lights. Wow. I mean, I know everybody keeps telling me, you know, don't stream in the dark. Let people see your face. You know, I get it. I get it. Right? But they're bright. They're bright lights. You know, when you're used to gaming your whole life in a dark room, right? It's like I've been in a cave for 20 years and I'm coming out in the sunshine for the first time. Yeah, so I think this is the Mech Madness node, is what they call this one, and I roll them on autoplay, but it seems to be very helpful if you can kind of ignore the bots essentially and just focus on the War Machines and the Iron Mans in that order. Because especially with this team, the AE damage is going to clean the bots up pretty much. And okay, what do we got? What do we got here? All right, I'll put a buck on it. I might need to consider buying a raid energy bundle. I don't know. Usually I get a lot of raid energy just buying other energy bundles. I mean, energy bundles is what the hell I want. I want energy bundles because I want to farm campaign nodes. That's the biggest method of advancement that I have in this game. But you know, it's always nice to have some. It's always nice to have some energy, even in raid. Man, gotta get Sentry. I'm just gonna have to give up those free attacks from Trooper. I think we're looking pretty good though. They're gonna roll through that. Boss node or not. Keeping things moving on the back so side of the ball. So it's looking like we're just going to keep this thing moving through the free energy period, I guess. But I'm going to have to leave very quickly and suddenly after that. We're down to 1 hour and 15 minutes before I need to be at the plant. And it's not that far of a drive. I only live about 7 minutes away. But like I was saying, I'm going to pick up some food on the way in and eat on their time. And drive-through lines are fucking cray right now, man. Everybody's wanting to eat the drive-through, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. COVID. So I saw something about yesterday. The World Health Organization said that maybe it isn't transferred asymptomatically. I'm gonna have to read more into that because that's pretty jarring to hear that. All right, that'll do it for Bat. All right, that'll do it for Vac. Baxos is over here dying. As you can see. So this is what I do with Baxos. Baxos is really not, and I'm sure a lot of the guys on the bottom of our roster are much the same. Baxos is really not equipped to just take a team in and kick the shit out of U7. He's not. So we've used his Asgard team. We've used his Shield team now. So we're going to throw one of his better teams, his Pun Fenders, and we're just going to throw them at that node. Vac, meanwhile, looks to be done. And he may just be idling until the free energy that comes along here in about 12 minutes. At which point, hopefully, we can get Corvus to gear tier 14. That's the plan, at least. So we're gonna put Baxos on autoplay there, and I'm gonna check the war, which hasn't moved anywhere, but somebody has put a ding in on that Mercs team. So I'm gonna step away from the monitor for just a second. Not for potpourri this time. Not for potpourri, but I'll be right back. All right, okie dokie. And he's still going. I got changed into my work coveralls, and he's still going. Like usual, Punisher's dead. Always the first one to go, right? But the core defenders are still there, and that means that he's still got a good shot of getting through this node. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe the three of them can pull it out. Probably would have done a little better if I'd just been minding the store a little bit. But hey, I gotta go to work. I gotta get ready. But I want to get all this shit done before I go. Basically, my daily routine is I play in the morning. Usually I'm done by 10, 11 o'clock my time. We went pretty long today. And then I grab my free energy on both accounts at 12 o'clock and spend it real fast. And then I boogie out the door and head to work. And they did finish the node. How about that? So JJ and Iron Fist pull it out. Way to go, Danny Rand. Way to go, Danny Rand. And where's Colleen Wing? Can we get a Colleen Wing in this game? I love her. So, okay. That's all he's done. He's not going to be buying any raid energy, so that's going to wrap him up for now. Probably one thing we could do on him is do another arena fight. Yeah, let's go do that. We're not going to put a lot of effort into it. I'm just going to find a decent looking, like maybe he could possibly beat it matchup here. Which basically means none of these Phoenixes, right? And also this symbiote Spider-Man kind of scares me a little bit. I don't really F with Magneto either because I don't have a good counter for him. His AIM team, which is a good counter for him, just isn't strong enough. So we're gonna have to go over Symbiote Spider-Man. We're gonna have to try him. Maybe we knock Symbiote out real quick. Let me re-examine this team. I don't mean to give Pointer free advertising. This is why the guy gave me the hat. A vendor at work gave me this hat for free 2 summers ago, and this was why. He knew I was going to wear it on the internet one day and give his company some free advertisement to the like 4 or 5 people that are here watching. Okay, maybe that wasn't his plan. I don't know. I'm just speculating. So, this is a pretty good looking team here. Let's try to knock Star-Lord right out. There we go. And then maybe we should we go Hela or Symbiote? I'm thinking Hela. I'm thinking we should probably get Hela. Didn't quite kill her. That's not good because then she got her ultimate off, which nearly killed Rocket. And we really kind of need to be focusing Ultron, to be honest, before he builds a damn robot army. But that got Hela. So we're looking good. We might be able to take this team. We're in good shape. It's not a done deal yet. Not a done deal yet. But we're healing up. We'll get some. There goes one res on his Ultron. So that's it. He's close to the grave. We'll get Groot back here in a second. Let's throw some blinds around, spread some energy. Good deal. Don't kill him. Thank you. I only got enough for resing 1. So let's bring Groot back because Rocket's going to want to do his ultimate here in a minute. And then Groot can give everybody death proofs. And they mostly already had defense ups. We'll summon a few more robots. We'll keep working on his Ultron because we want him gone. All right, and now it's just a matter of getting the Symbiote out of here, man. We actually did better on this team than I expected that we would. We'll give a big blast on Symbiote. Yep, we're good. We're totally good. I knew it the whole time. So if you're new joining us, we're kind of a new stream. We just fired up a couple days ago. It's named after the guild that I run in Marvel Strike Force, the Mortytown Locos. My name is Vac, obviously. All right, you knew that. And I'm a top 100 player. I'm ranked 81st, something like that. You're looking at my free-to-play account right now that I run on the side. So let's see here. We can. Maybe we'll hopefully get some supply purchases on him when the noon time, when 5 minutes when the stores roll over. I'm still here, Thomas. That's indeed true. Yes, sir. I'm now in my work clothes and I'm gonna be dashing out the door here shortly, but I am still here. We got free energy coming in 4 minutes, and I want it. We still got a lot of war attacks left to do, but it looks like we're going to have to do a lot of them off camera at work today. I'll reserve my attacks as much as possible for the evening stream when I get home. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and swap the view back over to the main account. There we go. So we're going to let Baxos ride. We're probably not going to see him again on this stream. So what we're wanting to do is finish up this piece of gear and get him to gear tier 14. Not spending that. Not doing that. We're probably going to save up and try to get Maw's ultimate up, I think, because it adds a little more speed bar in both directions. It adds to yours, it takes from theirs. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Speed bar is always a good way to go. And Maw is a character that I'm looking to jack up a little further. Because then maybe I'll use him in Arena. Maybe I'll use him. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to get him to 5 and 6 red stars, honestly. Because I don't think that, I mean, the guys that I'm fighting in Arena, I don't think that this Maw is going to land on them very often. And I'm still not sold that that ability block that he puts on Phoenix is really that overwhelming. I don't know that it negates her that badly. It gives you more of a chance to kill her before her ultimate goes off. Now that I grant you. But I don't know that a defensive team is really going to focus her that well. They're not making that good of a decision. You know, so since it's only good for the defensive setup, I mean, I can't bitch too much because I know JP's team just beat me twice, but still, I'm just not sold on this guy as the end all. You know, the new shake up for the Arena meta. I'm not sold. I think at worst, what I might have to do to beat those guys is to just swap Captain Marvel in for Phoenix. I think that'd probably do it. We're going to try that. Probably tomorrow. We'll see. So now we're down to 2 minutes and counting. And I don't really have any actions to take insofar as the game. I've spent most of all my energy. You know, we got more coming here in a minute. I can't show you the Phoenix event. It doesn't even pop up on my bar. Right, I've already done it. So we're pretty much stymied for the next 2 minutes. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, throw it at me. I'm going to put my shoes on real quick. And then we're going to spend this energy. And hopefully we're going to see a Gear Tier 14 Corvus. And after that, we may not see the Corvus, because I actually do need a number of catalysts, as I recall. But hopefully we'll be able to farm them out of the store. And we will see it. We're going to see it by the end of the day, probably regardless, but hopefully right now. And then after that, man, I'm going to abruptly end the stream and boogie. I'm going to have to. So, 1 minute. I'm looking forward to, here we go. It's looking like I might have to buy myself another graphics card and return the one I've got. Not in this PC that I'm playing on, but in the other one, if you're not familiar with my ongoing hardware struggles. I built myself a PC over the quarantine, the first one I ever built. And it's beautiful, man. I mean, I think it looks nice. You know, I'm really happy with the way it all came together, but it won't post. It wouldn't post. And I figured out several issues, you know, places where I messed up building it, that kind of thing. But now I've got everything narrowed down to where it turns on. I got a VGA error. I don't get a signal on the monitor, but everything else looks fine. So it's looking like it's a graphics card issue. I could take the graphics card completely out, and it all boots up. So it's pretty much a GPU issue. It might have been damaged in the shipping. I don't know. You know, I mean, I got all of these parts ordered via Amazon, and they came to me in the mail. So, you know, the fact that maybe one of them ended up being damaged is really not a huge surprise. So anyway, we're gonna no, we're not doing that. We're gonna spend these 90 energy, and we're not gonna get anywhere close to getting Corvus to 14 most likely, unless I get really lucky in stores. And honestly, if we pull a couple of bone marrows, I'd rather put what I got into. I didn't see an orb. Where was the orb? There it is, basic orb. So yeah, if I get a bone marrow, we may actually put points into Captain Marvel instead. But random call from Ohio. I'm not answering that because I don't know the number. If you're not on my contact list, I don't care. Possibly somebody I know, but they got the number, so they can just text me and identify themselves. Let's see here. So not what we need, not what we need. We will take these. We will take these. The really damaged catalyst is what I'm after here. We'll take the resistance catalyst. We're going to refresh once or twice here and hope we see something that we need. We'll take the focus catalyst, but we need damage. We need damage catalyst. I'm definitely taking the superior odds formula because I don't know how many I'm going to need, but I'm about to be raising a whole lot of symbiotes, and I know I'm going to need that shit. So we're going to pick that up. I'm pretty good on tech gear in tier 4. I think that's enough to I don't need to do anything else with Nick, so that'll be enough for Red Skull. And then good on lock cases, so one more refresh. That's not going to be enough to do what we want to do, but that's a little closer to the goal right there. We definitely need isomers. I think I'm okay on Judas bullets. Yeah, I'm good on that. Let's see, nanites, I'm fine. Pretty good. We always need catalysts, so we're going to pick those up. And that's all the refreshes I'm going to do for now. Maybe we get lucky and we'll get some catalysts out of the war store, but probably not. Probably not. Left me a voicemail, so that means they're probably a telecommuter or whatever you call them. Whatever you call them. Pretty sure commuter was not the word I was going for, but whatever. Let's see here. We get a Kingpin vault. Definitely. There's nothing for me to buy in the arena store anymore. And that was some basic catalysts. I'll take those. I'll take those. I have enough credits here that if we have some damage catalysts, I could buy them. But there's none to be found. I'm going to refresh one time and hope we get lucky. And look, what do you know? Superior damage catalyst. I'm not sure if that was enough, but I think it might have been pretty close. I think it might have been pretty close. It's not enough. Not enough. What are we looking at here? We need 12 more. So, okay. So maybe tonight. Maybe tonight. We'll work on that. That looks nice. Oh yeah. I mean, hell, there was some more I could get out of milestones. There was some more to be had. So one thing I need to do real quick is check the store and spend energy on Baxos so that I can get the F out of here. Which goes pretty quick. Let me get that. All those wonderful Punisher shards. Spend his 90 energy. Look at the store real quick. See if there's anything he can use to raise Ultron. No. Yes. That we'll take that. He needs to buy a couple of things regardless, just to get the daily done. He's out of phosphates. We'll buy that. And some vibranium. We don't need that down the road. So that's good. That's good. We're looking good over here on the Baxos side of the ball. And that's just about all of the damage that I'm going to be able to do today. Well, not today. For now, on this play session. There will be another play session tonight. And, something may come up and I may end up doing it abroad and off stream. I don't know. But right now the plan is for me to be fired up by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a evening stream that should last 2 to 3 hours. And probably will largely be taken up by the war, right? So we'll get to that later. For now, I'm going to have to call it here. We're going to end the Mortytown TV broadcast for the morning. To those of you who've been riding along, I certainly appreciate it. If you're new here, we're glad to have you. Please come on back anytime. We're going to be streaming on a fairly regular basis, and as well as we're going to be creating some more short form content. And we're going to try to help you
we're going to help you be possibly a better and at the very least a more entertained Marvel Strike Force player. So until I see you again, stay cool, keep gaming, and we'll talk to you.